this never-before-seen footage, the first frames ever shot for pumping iron, Arnold pumps up backstage for a posing exhibition.
Scene up what we call the Muscle Rock, where we went up in the Malibu canyons and up to the top of the mountain there, where they had the best kind of lighting for taking photographs. So we brought the whole camera team up there.
In this outtake, Arnold and his buddies work on posing routines for the upcoming contest in South Africa.
If Lou hits this one, I pull up.
Here we go.
We can't go into that one? Louis don't follow that one?
He could, but you know, Arnold has done this. You know what I mean? Okay.
Almost nothing made it into the movies, but it was really a fantastic, I think, sequence. Just to show again that we were all friends.
Good. Not bad. Nobody will look at the legs.
The reason why it didn't really work was because when we edited the movie, we wanted to show some kind of a competition.
Rent was cheap. By day, they trained at Gold's or on nearby Muscle Beach. And at night, they let off steam, often at Arnold's bachelor pad in Santa Monica.
The main man is here, guys.
The cameras never stop rolling.
Mr. Universe 1975. Cheers to the Mr. World. Roger Robertson. Hey, wait a minute. Let him hit a double shot, a double bicep shot for this lady here. Hit it quick here. Hit a double bicep shot. Come on now. Come on now. Hit 3 shots. All right. Okay, that's amazing.
The era from like 1970 to 1980 was probably the most fun I ever had in my life.
Oh, Franco. What is it, bullshit? Yeah. No, side chest, not front chest, Franco, side. Yeah, this thing's changed a little bit when we go to the side. Hey, look, Franco, what you have to do is when I say side chest, then hit the side chest and let it come out. And if you don't have it, don't hit it. No, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Oh.
They found that even watching this huge crowd order their huge lunch turned into an event.
We went to a restaurant where all the ordinary people were sitting, which we called the ordinary folks. And we were sitting there on the table and people were just looking over kind of like, in the skies. Oh my God.
Big steak. Scrambled eggs.
6 eggs over each.
Big steak, you know, one tuna omelet.
And a tuna.
Yeah.
Oh, look what he's eating. He's eating 3 hamburgers in one shot. Oh, God. Well, who are there's these gladiators? I mean, they couldn't figure it out who we were, you know? And we loved that kind of a scene, you know, to shock people.
The filmmakers often set up situations to see what would happen.
So a lot of different chances were tried.
They turned Schwarzenegger and Mike Katz loose in an amusement park.
Hey, they made a statue of Mike. That is a good one, Mike.
They film Arnold with his acupuncturist.
What does it mean?
We're stimulating a muscle.
Okay, good lad.
Watched him get a haircut.
Ask Arnold what set of clothing he completes.
What kind of clothing do you wear in competition?
Little tiny posing trunks.
Do you have to talk at all?
No. Except if you're the winner. So I talk a lot.
Yeah.
They were shooting, even overshooting, always looking for material to reveal Arnold's motives, his character, and what seemed at the time to be insanely ambitious dreams.
I won the world championships so many times now that I would like to go on, you know, try to be the best at something else. Like what? I would like to get into acting.
So there was a tremendous struggle to make this movie really work. make it really interesting, not only for the bodybuilding crowd, but for the general population.
In this outtake on Pumping Iron,
We have the world in our sight, and I know together we'll be right. And you see, forever we will go.
How does it look? Very, very massive. Well, I just wanted to get into bodybuilding. Of course, you have an idol. You want future idols to do that. I think 69, nobody was so
Charles Gaines, the author of the Pumping Iron book, came around to draw Arnold out, get him to warm up emotionally, reveal vulnerability. It didn't work. Never could be done.
Scared? You ever scared? Sure, I get scared. Oh, wow. You scared?
You felt like you couldn't get through to me because I was this kind of one-dimensional guy that was just like made of steel.
Of course they want you to be all wide open. They want to be able to do that you are soft and that you're able to cry because it puts them in the same boat and they say, well, he's just one of us.
Now, you know what I think you're doing now? I think you're bullshitting now.
No.
I do. I think you're...
What he really didn't realize was not that it was not vulnerable, but that I lived in denial. My whole life. It's always like whenever I felt pain or anything like this, it was like I forgot about it. I dismissed it.
For some reason, maybe it has to do with competition, you just clamp down that capacity on yourself. You carry it too far, what it winds up doing is just cutting you off from the possibility of having a really fundamental reciprocal human relationship with someone.
So what?
We don't care about it?
No. And especially since I knew in bodybuilding and in competition, you have to kind of bury things temporarily. The way I dealt with it always is that right now I put it aside and then I deal with it later on, whenever that is,
Always on the front burner, though, was Arnold's ambition, which was on display in another sequence cut from the film. It's Arnold visiting with his idol, retired bodybuilding champ, Reg Park. Arnold was patterning his career after Park, who'd gone on to star in Hercules movies in the 60s.
I think what perhaps happened to me about 15, 20 years ago is happening to you right now.
I know, it's this incredible
The
thing.
parallel is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like a repetition.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I looked up to you so much right from the beginning.
He was a kid wanting to emulate what I'd done, so it was a great compliment to me, and I took it in that sense.
Yeah, I remember in particular this one dream because I felt like I was dreaming for 8 hours, the whole night. And it was just, it was like, me being a king and staying on top of a mountain, and there was no room left for anybody else up there, okay, just for me. The whole thing was so much like, a victory thing.
To do that, and to give the film some Hollywood sizzle, Butler approached Bud Cort, the hot young star of MASH, Brewster McCloud, and Harold and Maude.
I haven't seen someone huge keep going my life. That's why I joined you, John. I get my blood running.
Yeah.
All I do is drive and scream at my agent. Get my blood running.
The idea was to send Bud to muscle masterclass with Arnold.
Am I supposed to breathe before I stand up, during, or after? I know this thing. I hate it. Oh, I crack my neck. And when do I breathe in? Breathe out when? When do I breathe? In, out, right.
He was very funny, and he happened to love bodybuilding.
You just start thinking about that it's a beautiful exercise and that it makes your legs grow. And
Yeah,
maybe
I
you
do all
change.
that psychological shit, but it doesn't work with me. I
it
get
won't.
pain in my leg.
But after screening all his footage, Bud felt his scenes were too distracting from the main storyline.
I think this whole thing is fucked.
I think so.
Bud pulled out, asking the filmmakers to put the rest of his salary back into the project so they could finish.
And I always teased him. I said, one day I'm going to take all of this footage that we shot and put it back into the movie. Now finally people are going to see it.
I love it, Louis. You just keep me entertained in those serious moments.
The room we were in was only probably about 20 feet by 20 feet. I mean, it was a very small room. And you talked about a lot of tension, a lot of heat. So you can't help being, you know, kind of on the edgy side.
The only thing that's left is Arnold's bullshit. That's why I'm up here, Arnold. See? I'm not wearing boots.
Lou, what do you think your chances are today?
I'm gonna lose all. You're the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to do insurance. Everything's under control here.
Good.
You're gonna be king a long time, Arnold. You're gonna be king a long time.
The film was in the can, but now there was more than 100 hours of it to be cut down and crafted into a movie. Unfortunately, Butler was broke, having maxed out on his credit cards.
After I got back from Africa, I got a call every single day of the week from American Express because I'd succeeded in running up a $35,000 bill, and I had become their most important client. I was rather impressed with myself.
Out of desperation in 1976, they concocted an outlandish scheme. They put on a bodybuilding show at the prestigious Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City to try and attract potential backers.
We invited Candy Bergen to photograph Arnold. The Whitney thought we might get 300 people, and someone said, you know, there's a pretty big crowd outside.
You seen this crowd? No, I haven't looked out there. It's big.
And I went down and looked, and there were 5,000 people outside trying to get in.
In a way, it was naive. You know, it was a wonderful opportunity to just hang out together, train together, and be really part of a family that continues to be close and friendly to this day.
We all stuck together and had fun doing it.
There was a certain kind of a unity there and a certain kind of a camaraderie that was unlike anything else.
And that's why when you look at it today, there's nothing else like Pumping Iron.